Alright, here we go. I gotta go to back to the thing. I think, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can call back some things, some peeps. If I can get to those idiotas. Alright. Let's see here. Son of a bitch. Alright. I'm gonna come up with a topic this time, and it's gonna be a good topic. Hopefully. Let's see, what kind of topic should it be called? Oh, okay. Rogue gauntlets. Alright, this time I'm gonna go get this dude. There's a knife right there. I'm gonna kill this guy. Oh, yeah. Then I'm gonna drop right here. I have 6 great soul arrows left, and this dude is guarding a chest. Got him. Got him. green blossom. I don't know what that is. Sublime bone dust. Okay. $2,802. I can go back to my freaking thing now. Fix my gosh darn staff and junk. Alright, 820. Sorry. 2,820.
Bearer of the curse, seek souls, large and more powerful souls.
Thought so. Let's see here. Repair weapon. 866. Yes. Yay.
I'll be around if you want it back.
Alright. Undead log away. How's it going, viewer? If you would like to message me, you can with the side screen. Or if you're just doing that to invade my world, then I'm playing this game. And let's see, bridge approach. No, I'm good. There it is. I'm gonna see if I can kill the that dude that keeps resurrecting the freaking those skeletons. Alright. Yeah, I did that retardedly. Okay. Now, okay, I got a time limit for each one that I kill. But I need to stay away from, or leave this dude out in some ways. Okay. Potion. God damn it. Okay. Now I have to get out of here. Son of a bitch. Awesome. Alright, let's see. It's gonna take 3 hits to kill that guy, so alright. I also need to come up with a topic at some point or another. Let's see, there we go. Awesome. Okay. Got him, killed him. Alright. God damn it! I already had the freaking drinky thing. Just didn't show the animation yet. It's bullshit. Alright. Let's do this. $220. Oh, that's tight. Okay, I have to go get my torch. Oh, there's another pathway. Cool. Wait, what? Shit. It's the same way I went back then. Okay, I need to turn this on. I need to go level up, so that's what I'm about to do. I really wish I could light my torch autonomously. Okay. Alright, let's go to... Okay, so there's something behind here. How can I get this thing? I might have to light this torch right here. Alright. I know what to do. I'll light my torch. Outside. Sword boners. Light my torch. No, won't let me. I see it, it's right there. I have to shoot it with an arrow or something to activate it. That's afterwards, I guess. It's after that big final boss battle. God dang it. I didn't know where to go. It means they're back again. God damn it. Alright. That's what I'm gonna do. Farted. All right. All right. Flame butterfly. All right. What the fools? It's a gosh darn thing right there. There is a sorcerer. Oh my gosh. That is a knot. That is a homing thing. That's crazy. Alright, okay, what do we want to talk about? I'm gonna talk about something, but I have to go to the bathroom first, so I'm gonna do that. And pause it. Or try to pause it. Or try to do something that involves stopping myself from doing something. Alright, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about I'd say police presence as opposed to violence. Or, basically. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. I'll be right back. Alright, yeah, and their correlation. Police presence as opposed to violence and their correlation. I think that having a police presence somewhere is important, I guess. Especially somewhere that's prone to violent outbreaks, I guess. I think that within a certain alright, here we go. Sorcerer around here, so I gotta... Okay, I think that the reason for most violence has a lot to do with gang-related activity. Got him. Combustion and titanite shard. Got him. And I think the biggest part of stopping violence is not silence, I guess. It is actual, it's actually seeing something and then saying something. Oh wait, what did I say? Okay, the actual reason for violence is because of silence, I guess. And the reason for non-violence is seeing something and saying something. I think that's the base reason, and I think people themselves who want to make themselves the causation, or want to make themselves the reason, I guess, for I don't know. Here we go. Got, what is this? Human FC, lacerating arrow, 40 prism stone. It's okay, it's cool. Gotta go here. It's awesome. Alright. I think that the real true reason for a lot of violence is because of when people hearing that they've gone through a certain experience or gone through a certain facilitating experience. They don't know that that in order for the cops to be able to make a good assessment of the area or a good assessment of the a certain place, they have to have a good opinionated, well-opinionated, partial, I guess, like a partial, a well-opinionated, bipartisan, assessment of it. It's like they don't investigate sometimes, but keep a police presence in order to be able to keep the violence from stop happening, rather than the people who are causing the violence, I guess, or not causing, but initiating, I guess. They know and realize that anyone's talk or banter isn't the reason for someone actually going through with a crime. But they also know that if there is ever any correlation between the two, then they are to monitor, not to act on any sort of violence or threaten or anything like that. I'd say that the real reason why people act towards violence or go towards violence is because they feel desperate, and the more that people think that they can toy with someone and bring them to the amount of violence that they have, or like say that a person is like, you know, hey, if you do this for me, then I'll help you out in a certain way, shape, or form, and it's like, and then also people themselves want loyalty. They say loyalty and friendship is, it's like if they're in a bar, like they say that they, and also too, like saying that let's say like saying that that if you see someone doing something like a crime, you wouldn't say something because you're good friends with them, right? That in itself is obstruction of justice. But if that crime is justified or in any way defense related or self-defense related, then there is a causation for resurgence or rebuttal, I guess. The reason why I didn't say anything is because I myself thought that I was in itself a self defense. I didn't see or monitor that there was any crime that happened, because so then truly I did not say anything, for the reasons being because I didn't assume it to be a crime. There's that defense in anything. So I mean, like, if you say that you won't say something if your friend does something, you'll be like, if you say you won't say something if your friend does something, then that's your defense, basically. If the crime itself was perceived in self-defense, then there is no crime. So, like, just because a person kills someone in front of you, or a person gets murdered in front of you, does not mean that there was in any way a crime. That's why people are proven innocent and not proven people are proven guilty, if proven guilty at all, and not proven innocent. They are accused. That does not mean they are, by the way, guilty in any way, shape, or form. It means that person gets to hear themselves in a court. Okay, that dog's dead. Awesome. Or it's not a dog. I don't think it is. It's a hellhound, I think. Yeah, it doesn't have any fur. So the environment. Also, I've noticed that when animals become become ferocious, or when people themselves start to blame someone for something, they use their thoughts behind their violence or their violent tendencies would be the thoughts of oh, everything's your fault. How's it going, viewer? If you want to message me, you can. I am talking about causation of police absence and crime, and I'm talking about the subjects that correlate between the two. Whenever there's a reason for someone to defend themselves in a certain case, I'd say that. Oh shit. Okay, I could have gone backwards with that, but I just didn't feel like fighting them right now. But whenever there is a certain causation of let's say you get into a bar fight, and the bar fight is you were trying to talk to someone, and through you trying to talk to someone, you get in an altercation. Does that altercation mean that you're at fault? And does that altercation mean that you yourself are at any way, and even then more so, and if the bartender or the person, not the patron, if the person in question that is your witness takes your side, the person says this person was just being a patron, and this other person decidedly so said that there is a there's a reason why this person got up and went into the altercation that was either already going on or happening in any way. This person was enjoying themselves, and that person stopped them from enjoying themselves, and they decided to start defending themselves because of the fact that this person interrupted their silence or their solace or their anything. What I can say about what some people understand or misunderstand as the real reason for their misfortune or their this disruption of fun is it's causing the disturbance in the first place, I guess. Especially the person who, within their rights, is trying to defend themselves against someone who is causing a disturbance in any venue. But also, too, the real reason of this subject that I'm talking about is if there was a police presence around that corner or around that place, knowing that there had been a series of violent outbreaks or people fighting, if there were ever a police officer around, then would that fight or would that altercation have happened at all? The real reason not for altercation is the real reason for not altercation is police presence, because people themselves fight whether people or the people are present, or police are present, because sometimes people themselves decide that they're going to and eventually make an example out of someone because of what they believe or how they believe it. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of mirror. I can't. Let's see. But yeah, when does that person themselves become the instigator, or when that person themselves becomes an instigator in any fight or anything like that? Does that change what that police presence is supposed to be there for, or because of that police presence, does no one have any altercation at all? I assume that that's the reason why the police are there, is to not only be there for a got it. I really wish you could. Son of a bitch. All right. All right. Are you serious? Because you're in mid-jump? Got him. Yeah. Got 11 left. Yeah, I might win. That is awesome. God damn it. Like, you cannot block. I have to bait you into attacking. I have to bait you into attacking me. Got him. Awesome. To bait you into moving forward too much. Yeah. Got him. Yes. Let's do this. Got 7 left. Okay, cool. Yes. This is cool. Damn it. Got him. Yeah, it's one more hit. One more hit. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. At 12,000, now I can level up. Thank you, Dark Spirit, Forlorn. That was really fun. And now I gotta go back to see if I can go level up, because I got 12,000 and I'm ready. Awesome. I got 12,570 spirits, souls. Shit. That's hefty, dude. Woo-wee. Dang. That was awesome. Shit. Okay. I almost fucking died. That would have sucked. Alright. Ah, crap. I gotta go. I gotta run. You run. God damn it.
The dark.
Let's see here. Ooh, cool. Resonant flesh, resonant weapon, great resonant soul, dark weapon. That's cool. Alright,
No matter.
I'm gonna go back.
The time will come.
Hopefully that got my enemies off me. Awesome. It did. Okay, cool. I'm gonna pause this right now, and I'm only at 43 minutes, so I'm gonna keep on going. Realizing that that there is a presence, I guess, or of anything, of any kind. It stops usually people from, but it doesn't usually stop gang violence, and that's what I'm kind of at the on the fence about. I'll be back. All right, and that's what I get taken aback by sometimes. Is
that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you to see light, however faint it might be.
But yeah, and that's where investigation comes in. Where what people call plain as day, sort of anything like that, they don't understand, I guess, is, lack of talking about the facts doesn't minimize the facts. Our lack of talking about the realization of let's see what end goes. Stamina. I'm gonna go with poise right now, and then that's it. Let's see here. Confirm it. And that's usually the reasons why I lose sometimes against big guys, is because I'm not able to get away from their attacks in time. So that's why I went with poise. There's a lot of reasons why I think that gang violence itself is a nuisance and a no-goodery, I guess, when it comes to society. And I think that people themselves find it, especially when a gang has such a hold on a community, that it says that through them is the only way to be able to create a marketplace. And that's the part of gang violence that I think is the worst, is the fact that what it does to a market and what it does to people themselves as they go through a market. They think that they feel comfortable having it's like they think that becoming a gang will help them have security and stability within a marketplace, when in actuality the only reason for that stability was the fact that the marketplace was there in the first place with no one even there. If you build it, they will come. Gangs or people who found gangs know this already. If you build it, they will come. If you build something that sells something, or shows something to someone, or tells someone a certain fact of knowledge, it will come. Like Google, and a whole bunch of different places that said if you build something and make something available to someone, then it will come. But the point is kids in themselves feel anguish and anger when it comes to certain things, like whether they feel pain in what they feel is like they see something on the news and they're like, this is the way that things are going, when in actuality it's completely different where they're staying at, or completely different where they're supposed to be. And within that thought itself is where you find a lot of people themselves making better on what they actually think, realizing that it wasn't the way that gang themselves told them, because they were much younger and much more susceptible to what people themselves do when other people aren't around. Like say, oh, this is the only way that you'll succeed in life, is if you do exactly what I say, exactly how I say it. When you're a kid, you understand and know that, but as you get older, you start to realize that the opportunity itself to go out and see the different places are lacking and limited. So it's like you feel as though you don't have a control over the system that in which you sometimes create. Or if you create a business and that business is trying to, or in ways trying to be overrun by, if you get threats or people who think that they can control you through manipulation, or telling you that you're going to be this and it's the only thing is you're going to be because I said so. And when people do that, it makes me angry, and it makes me want to tell them that it doesn't matter what you say, happens because I wanted to be able to be my own person. And I am my own person before I am working for anyone or multiple businesses, or even my own business. And it has nothing to do with any race or any creed or culture or anything like that. I do also believe that it has more to do with how much freedom you're given within a certain job, I guess. Whether a person tries to do it out of nonchalantly saying, "Oh, we had a certain fall through with something, and now it seems as though you're not going to be getting the things that we said you were going to get," and that's in itself is a wager on betting whether or not that person will stay with your company. Betting or not whether that person will stay with your company and staying with your thing, and this in itself correlates to the way that police presence in a situation happens to be. It's like the person themselves thinks that within investment comes payoff, or within investment becomes I don't know, it becomes within investment comes truth, I guess. Sometimes. And sometimes that truth is that person isn't going to stay at that company anymore. Because of the fact that not only it doesn't matter if you're friends or not, but you use that friendship in order to make them get less money under whatever statute you told them. I'm not trying to put anyone in any groups, I'm not trying to tell anyone anything, but I also know for a fact, and always for a fact, that businesses love to save money. Whether you are good enough friends with that person in order to let them save that money, or to tell them, I really think that there's a big deal going on with this thing, and I think that through a certain amount, you're not trying, but you are making me look like, or paying me in a way that makes me seem like you're getting the work or the experience or my experience for nothing, or for not the amount that what you would be paying someone else who wasn't your friend. It's like all those years of us hanging out, eating popcorn and drinking beers. was an investment, basically. Instead of, hey, I really enjoy your company, and I really think that this project could be something amazing for both of us if we just give it a chance. And instead of that, saying we can just give it a chance, there's a, oh, I think you're a really cool guy. Hey, how about we do stuff together? And then that leads up to, oh, well, there's this thing I was doing. And I'm just like, is that a movie? Are we in a movie right now? You seem like a villain in a movie. You seem like a dude who is surreptitiously taking advantage of his own friends just so he can see if they're better people or not. But that aside, and it sounds a little bit worse than it actually is, but most of the time it makes me see people for who I want them to be, or for who they actually claim to be. It's like, I find it hard to be able to make sure that I can I want to find it a lot easier to make certain claims and do different things and be a certain person to someone. I think it's better to be able to. I think it's better to be able to make sure that I can find a certain part of and I gotta really do this. God damn it. But other than that, other than all the other things and stuff that I find, and all the paranoia within my own head that I choose to acknowledge or not acknowledge about whether or not there's a if there were a cop or if there were a police officer engaging in these situations and delegations, first and foremost, would there be any taking advantage of? Would there be any, if there were, I'd say, if there were delegations or people of delegative nature that would get into these sort of agreements and be able to pick these sort of agreements up and say, well, this is wrong. This is very wrong. And this person has way more experience than you're saying he has. But it's like, people think that they do a buy-in sometimes. And I really think that it's like, though they do buy in and though they're really actually a good person and they do different things, they choose often to be a certain part of a certain company that pays them less than they would actually get. And actually, you know, it's hard to get into specifics sometimes, but I really understand that a lot of times there's a big reason for people getting paid less, and I also know that there's a huge reason for people themselves saying that they're going to get paid that less amount, or people, and through that, I think people don't understand that all these things snowball into someone's ability or counter ability to be able to believe that they're being either mistreated by someone who gets paid more than them, or they're jealous of that person getting paid more than them, and they want that job so badly. And also thinking about that job and how much more you get paid than another person. It's really hard to be like, you didn't have those opportunities, or I didn't have those opportunities when I was doing that. Why are you doing this and getting paid so much more, or how much more are you getting paid? It's like existences of people think that there's some sort of opportunity within the abilities that they have, or abilities that they create. People go to college for an exact and specific reason, and not only to get an education, but also to realize the certain markets that are actually out there. And I also realized that through a certain number of people, there are reasons why I think that that people themselves could and would find that that there are a lot more reasons to be able. There are a lot more reasons to be able to be. There are a lot more reasons to be able to be and want to be out there in a certain God damn it! I need to run. I need to run. All right, is there a thing right here? There's a thing right here. I need to get this. Life gem, cool. I've also found that there are real reasons why people themselves choose to omit themselves in a situation and choose to actually put themselves in a certain situation where it doesn't matter what they think or feel about a situation, or how they feel the situation actually is in their own mind. They choose and to be able to. They choose to put their faith in someone else and think that they're their parent. When in actuality, you should give that responsibility to people that are few and far between the norm. Especially if the norm is any sort of gang violence or anything like that. You should put your faith in so many people. If you've put your faith in people that you think are there to help you, or if you think people are there to get you through, how's it going, viewer? Then also you should realize that there are a lot of people, or maybe a handful of people themselves, who manipulate the system to try to get a better reach or a far-reaching grasp on what the market is, because they have no idea. And within that grasp or that reach, you start to realize that people themselves who are trying to make a name for themselves don't realize that the bigger companies, or the people who are the bigger companies, are trying to create and through no profit of themselves sometimes, to create a free market system to be able to make sure that they can not only keep themselves in sustainable goods, but also in sustainable workforce. I really think that people themselves need to start looking at bigger God damn it. People need to start looking at bigger opportunities for themselves, because I need to start looking for bigger opportunities for myself. And I need to start realizing that I'm not my mom, and I have the experience available to be able to be a manager at something, and not just someone who takes in deliveries. Not just someone who decidedly takes in something and puts out something, but someone who takes in and monitors the person that does that. Because I've done that for almost my entire life, as far as a life goal or a job-oriented skill. I decidedly so want to be able to find a real thing, a real marketplace where I'm not taken advantage of in any specific way, or not taken advantage of, but not utilized in the wrong way. You know, I find that being utilized in the wrong way can sometimes mean the difference between me getting paid a certain amount and a certain amount that I want to be paid. And within that certain amount, I believe that I myself can start creating and making my own business. And that's the real reason why I decidedly take the stance on what I take the stance on. And also the reasons why I believe that I myself am going to stay independent throughout my entire thing. And I'm not going to use my my own specific retrieval of I just said retrieval because I saw retrieval. Specific referral of things to be able to be I want so badly for there to be a specific situation that I can get to make sure. God damn it! I forget to heal every single time I talk to myself. But realize that specific situations are able to make sure that you won't be taken advantage of. And there are things put into place to make sure that your business will do better and stay better no matter who else is around it. No matter if the customers themselves start to threaten the business, or say that they themselves want to buy the business, or say that they want to own the business or own something in it. Because there are certain people themselves that decidedly so want a certain part of a business. But as you go into certain specific situations, you start to realize that there are damn it, I could have gotten that. You start to realize that there are specific situations that you need to look into before you go into a business with someone. Is as they're going into the business, do they formally invite you to something, or do they formally say something like their words as they invite you to be a part of a business? Are they nonchalantly escorting you through something that they believe is going to be something amazing, or do they break a or do they break an oath to you? Do they say to you, are you willing? Are you ready? Are you going to be into this? Are you going to be 100% into this? And as you're 100%, and I did this exact same thing I just did, but and as you're 100% into this, are you yourself going to realize that there are such things as off days? Is the boss that you have going to realize that you're not a football player? That you're not going to take hits for him? That you're not going to do blocks? That you're not going to realize that people themselves aren't millionaires and billionaires? And because that's the only reason I'm taking a hit for someone. And also I have to understand that whether or not I take this hit or whether or not I take this thing for them, I'm not getting paid a due diligence or being guaranteed a large sum of money. So within that boundary of me wanting to get paid a certain large sum of money to be able to do something, I'm also not doing anything that that aches any pains or makes any carpal tunnel, things like that, because those are actual things that people are gonna have to start form-fitting their work economy for. They're gonna have to start form-fitting their work economy for it, because the amount of people working and starting to lose their shit because they're working there, they don't realize is that they're creating things for themselves, that they're creating ideals for themselves that they have no idea is the bookmark to a not only the bookmark, but the but creating the ideal situation for someone is the minimal experience that you need to realize. Creating the ideal situation for someone to want to work in that situation. Not just because of them knowing you or having to be around you or anything like that. Creating the ideal supplement situation to know that they won't nonchalantly be in a relationship with you. Like, not a relationship, but an employee-employer relationship. They won't say, "Oh, well, that guy's just going to be working here. It's going to be cool." It's like, say, or be able to say that you will not only be there for them as an employer, but that's the kind of situation that I want to be in. Is they're not only there for you as an employer, but they're there for you as a human. And not only just a human, but as an advisor as well. And also realizing that advising you on something means that you gain experience. That with every talk and everything you have with that person, you have to realize that that person is learning and gaining things. And you have to treat that person as such. So, but also within those bounds and those little lucky things you think about every day, or little large numbers of ideals that people themselves think about every day, is you have to realize that there are not only big notions of not only big notions of a celebration or elaboration on any sort of job you're doing. The realization that there is something that you need to realize is that, oh man, no matter what, I feel as though and I know as though that I eventually and always understandably want to make salary. Like, I can't live under any circumstance of any tip wage anymore. I realize because of my experience that I've been jealous for way too long as far as myself goes, and I realize too that if I'm under any retainer at all, then I'd be happier. To advise or to utilize any skill to be able to make sure that skill itself is or that person themselves is attaining their skills in a likely amazing fashion, because within that fashion I need and want to be able to create I want to create and be able to make sure that I can have a situation within my own grasp that makes me feel that, and makes me know and feel validated that I'm not being taken advantage of. God damn it. I really should have, what's the word? Within those grasps, people themselves lose sight of a certain value that they themselves deserve. They start to realize or think that somehow they're not being taken advantage of by a certain person because of their demeanor or because of their want to be around them. And within that grasp, I think people start thinking that they're the red-headed stepchild of a business, or the red-headed stepchild of what they would call a business, even if they aren't one, or even if they assume themselves to be one, or even if they assume themselves to be illegal, or to be legal, or to be legal, and assumatorily aren't. And I'm not insinuating that any way they aren't, or any way that anyone that I have ever worked for hasn't been. But I'm saying that just because you're legal does not mean you are the royal workforce of someone. You can be, but the thing that makes you the less than or more than minimum is the fact that if you treat your workers not like workhorses and cows and cattle, or that you don't treat the shit like a video game, and you realize that the person you're talking to has feelings, or the person you're being with, or the person you're working with, or the person you're working on top of. You realize that person has feelings, and that person wants to be able to create things for you. They wants to be able to create a matriarch, or even a patriarch of any sort of thing. And you have to realize that that person has enough feelings to where if you assumatorily think that that person will prevail because of certain situations, even under an amassed amount of pressure because of either you or anyone else that goes there, you have to realize that that person themselves, no matter through any fault of your own or any fault of your own, you'll find that that worker themselves sometimes just really doesn't want to do the job anymore because they feel as though they're not being appreciated throughout the entire process. And that much you have to think about every single time you think about an employee, or else you're making the biggest mistake you've ever made by employing someone who doesn't want to work there, and you will literally last, but at the most, for 6 months. And I'm gonna keep going because this is fun. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'll be back. I drank a lot of water, so it's not normal. So all right, don't worry, it's coming out clear. But yeah, realizing that all of those things... Shit. Yeah, realizing that all of those things... How's it going, viewer? If you want to message me, you can. But yeah, realizing that all those things that I mentioned before are are the reasons why some people stay with a company or not stay with a company. Is the reasons why you have to believe and know that through no fault of your own or no merit of your own is there ever going to be a marketplace. Because the marketplace already exists. And you have to realize that that marketplace cannot and will not ever be controlled by a singular human being. Ever on the face of the planet. And that's what makes it a free market. That any one person and a singular thing and a singular notion can succeed at anything, and no gang-related violence is ever going to make sure or ever affect those marketplaces that ever exist. So, if you really want to believe it, if you really want to realize it, the more you start believing in yourself, and the more you start realizing that there is a certain reality that people themselves become a part of whenever they become a part of a gang, or if ever they realize that a gang ever exists through any notion or realization. God damn it. Through any notion or ever fading, a never fading realization that you can't turn a gang into a colony without stopping the gang. Without stopping the things that you would ever call extracurricular, or without a doubt completely illegal notions of ever being a part of a gang or anything like that. You have to understand that there is a bigger notion at hand, that the notion of fair play and fair game, because the less people that you realize are a part of your society, the less people you plan for, and the less people that eventually become a part of your actual society. Or you have to realize that there are many reasons why people themselves succeed, and through those reasons and through those notions and through those people, you have to understand that those realizations that people come to are through no fault of your own and no fault of anyone else's. But through accidents, and happy accidents, awesome accidents, where people themselves get to buy something that they truly and terribly need or want. And those accidents are planned for. In many cases, they are actually planned to happen in some ways, but they cannot be completely and utterly guaranteed. And that's the definition of a free market. It allows and plans for the mistakes to happen, but in order to be able to see those mistakes, or see those little happy accidents that happen, and the fact that those happy accidents have a lot to do with a person's realizations of market, you have to realize that the accidents that get you there, they get you there. But that keeps people coming back and staying with those happy accidents that they found has everything and anything to do with your actual and utter performance. Realize that it has everything to do with that and nothing to do with someone's persuasion or anything like that. So realize that that's the definite and only reason why there will be any lack or thereof of any kind of gang violence or anything like that, is the fact and the realization and also the utterance that gangs have no power in a free economy. And that's what I said. And that's how I say it. They have no power. They definitely have no obligatory signs of self-gratitude, and they also have the biggest realization that there will be no obligings on their side of any problems, because they themselves, throughout their own and entire history, have been known to and this is the reason for coalitions. People don't realize that coalitions and gangs have a big line of oh shit, I didn't even understand that. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I thought that it would just allow me to go across. That there was, but I realized this game has been made in 2011, I think. Not 2007, not 2007. So, but, probably should have done it anyways. Oh, but man. And that's the reason for stock prices. They always say that, oh, the stock's fixed and all the other different stuff, but it has everything to do with how excited a customer or consumer is getting about a certain product. And through any gang violence or anything like that, does a consumer get any sort of thing, you'll find that people aren't excited about the product, but the stock itself will go up. Or through any bribery or anything like that. That's the reason why the money itself tells everything. The reason why honesty in a market is so utterly and willingly and terribly needed, because of the fact that there are so many people that actually need a certain product, and there are so many people that actually want a certain product. And within realizing that that product is actually needed or wanted, that product itself can and will grant you the greatest experience in your life if it's legal. And when it's legal, it gives you a better sense of satisfaction. And I know it does. I know through experience that it does. It's not some drug that appears in your system. It's not some system. It's realizing a specific goal and achieving that goal and being able to achieve that goal through a certain number of markets themselves that know and realize that they are completely and utterly free. That anyone themselves can come up with a certain situation or thing to be able to make sure that there are people that survive in the next coming day, and people themselves will actually get a grant because of that fact. There are opportunities out there for any sort of person out there that decides that they want to go into business for themselves in a certain vocation, no matter if they have a degree or not. It's just that if they have the degree, then people themselves who keep in contact with them will constantly and utterly support them because of the simple fact that maybe they were in a fraternity together, and it's the reason why people themselves talk to each other in the first place. Because in order to stay to keep a free market available and a free market alive, the people have to talk with one another. People have to get on the pursuit of being able to create opportunities when they're supposed to be happening. Got him. The biggest reasons we need to actually stay vigilant and realize that the bigger reasons... Undead Purgatory, this is awesome, probably. Biggest reasons why we need to realize that there is a certain marketplace for us that is there for us when we need it. The biggest reasons we need to realize that there is a certain place for us when we have it. Is realizing that there's an opportunity once we're born into something, and realizing that the only weapon that gangs or gang violence has against people is trying to say that there aren't enough opportunities for people themselves to be able to succeed. And there are gangs on both sides of any race, of any coalition, of anything that deny access to people themselves to be able to make a business for themselves and keep it and run it. Because I'm sure that's one of the reasons why there were so many people that actually got to the top and then killed themselves, because they thought that they didn't have any further to go, or else they got in it too deep with some sort of personal mob or personal vendetta against someone or something, or with someone or something. Realize that the true pressures of life and things happen when you least expect it. But you have to understand too that if you don't see something and say something, then you'll be blind to someone's constant or trivial manipulation.
Seek souls.
The power is with the individual, and people themselves have to realize that they themselves have to understand the power within themselves to be able to create and make a completely amazing marketplace that can be a completion of systems, a realization of fact and fantasy molded into one, and also the realization that a free market is key to being able to create a sound and wonderful ecosystem within the American government and within the American workplace, that anyone themselves can make it, that they don't have to do things under the table or are not by the book in order to be able to create and make a certain thing for themselves or a certain name. That anyone themselves can come up with an amazing product that helps and creates and is able to be the thing that people really want it to be. Let's go at the end. And then we'll go with 11. There we go. I'm gonna go 2 hours probably. And that in itself is the only way that it's going to diminish any gang control or gang violence on any marketplace or anywhere that deserves or really, really deserves to have their own farmers market. or a French market or any place. Realize that it's not run by gangs. And also realize that people's control is always lacking in any situation, because they want to tell you they control everything to make sure and make you think that there is no opportunity for you to go anywhere else. That is the number one place a business wants you to think. They want you to have an one-stop shop for everything you absolutely need, so you won't have to go anywhere else. It's the one thing that legally a business does, so it's the one thing that I know a gang does to make you believe that you don't have that many opportunities without them. But it has a big, big line, as whether it impedes on your actual life. Not without them, but with them. And you have to know your opportunities, and you have to know yourself in order to be able to understand that there are opportunities out there besides those people who think that they control everything. And sometimes that in itself can cause kids to be able and want to be able to create some sort of anger or violence fueled enraged something. And that's the biggest thing that people really need to understand, is that when little kids or when grown-ups or when people themselves start to think that they have no choices, they try to enlist the help of others. And if those people start to make some sort of violence or any sort of violent tendencies towards any sort of person, that in itself is a gang or terroristic thought or procedure. Believe me, just because it happened in the past doesn't mean that people like it in the past. Trust me. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom again because I drink a lot of water, and that's what I do. Realizing that you can make a difference, no matter what the causation, no matter what the reason, but realize that you can make a difference, a positive difference, a better difference, and not just a perceived positive difference, but an actual positive difference in someone else's life. Just by telling them they have a friend sometimes. Just by making a difference in someone's life, and realizing that you yourself can make a difference no matter where the decision takes you. Realize that it's a positive, amazing place. A free market can be so amazing, and it can be way better than what anyone describes as any heaven. So be yourself and don't be a lollygagging. It's better to be there for yourself, to be absent in situations, even if you're there. There's just a big difference in knowing your fate and realizing that fate isn't anything. Fate is just someone who feels as though that you must end. When realizing that realization is false and fake, or realizing that fate is false and fake, you realize that you can go any direction you want. And not only the opportunities that you see are there for you, but realize the opportunities that you don't even know are there and always will be there in a free market. The realizations of a free market are always going to be there for you. And the foundation of a free market will always prove more valuable than any gang or any gang-related anything that you can be a part of. The gang didn't create this. No matter what they try to say. God damn it. Be there for yourself. And be there in the moment, and be there in the situation that calls you to be able to say that you're not a part of the things that try to pull you down. Be there for yourself and realize that there are so many different ways to succeed. And none of those ways are cause for violence. And none of those ways cause you to try to create a difference and not someone else's life. There is a difference in the life that you try to create. And the moments you try to create as such. Yeah, it's a lot harder with all three of them. So I'm gonna kill them off one by one. Realizing that you matter in the equation is the most important thing that you can possibly ever understand. Tight Night Chunk, yeah. Alright, we use the heavy soul arrows first, I think. Alright, I'm gonna kill this dude. Let's kill them all. Are you freaking kidding me? Bullschneggies. and know the difference between a bunch of friends and a bunch of gang members. It's that one additive. It's a big additive, but it's that one additive that keeps you down. The correlation or the causation of violence. How's it going, viewer? I am destroying these guys' faces, and then hopefully they don't have the mob of skeletons. God damn it. It's probably the mob of skeletons now. God damn it. Yep, it's a mob of skeletons. So 16 heavy soul arrows. And I need to kill that guy. Kill that guy. Here we go. There we go. Awesome. Almost done. Almost did it. Oh no. Son of a bitch. I almost killed them all. That would have been so great. That would have been so awesome. And I would have had a treasure chest too, because I know that there's a treasure chest in the last part. Oh well. I'm at 1 hour and 57 and I think I'm done. Realize that you are the difference in the world around you. And you have to realize and understand that there's a free market out there which is waiting for you. And you have to understand too that there are people themselves that would call themselves the free market, or call through them as the free market. Realize that they are liars, and they are not the people who they say they are. Though they think that they are the gateways to something true or honest, they themselves aren't being honest with themselves. To realize that they are not the causation, nor are they the origin of anything or anyone besides their babies, their children. And they cannot call anyone else their children without first realizing that they are lying to themselves and other people. Realize this, and realize the correlation between the two, and they are not the reason for your success. You are the reason for your success. No matter if they're paying you or not, you have to realize that you can do whatever you want to do. You can create, you can make, you can realize that there is a big and wonderful, amazing economy out there, and there is no one controlling it. No one controlling it, and the facts that no unregistered government controlling it. That means that people will have enough with the lack of regulations that need to be around. People will have enough. So I'm going to do this one more time, because I really like this game. Alright. Go with heavy solar first. Fireball. Stupid fucking shit. I tried it. I missed. Oh well. Realize that no matter how many times you fail, you'll be able to have another opportunity. No matter how many times a product or someone says that you'll never be able to work in this town, the only reason why they'll never be able to work in that town is because of eventually your own thoughts on your own self, and they say what they want to say to make you not believe in yourself. Realize that you are the right kind of person for the job. Realize that you just need to believe in yourself and believe in your skills and believe in the amount of luck that anyone could have in a certain situation, and you'll be able to accomplish amazing feats and be able to create experience and amazing things for yourself. Realize that there are certain things that people themselves need an education, and that education can come from anywhere, whether it comes from Google, whether it comes from any some odd books, or whether it comes from just knowledge of being able to understand and be around a certain amount of things. Realize that you get the experience, you're able to get the experience through anything, and you'll be able to have the knowledge through any sort of avenue. And that avenue will eventually become a marketplace, and a marketplace that you will be able to know and learn how to control and make sure that you yourself can control your own market and your own business. And once you create your own business, you can create your own market. The only reason you can control a market is realizing that you have no control over the market. You can guide it with whatever single thing that you think the market itself is the most possible and utter thing to be able to create something. Have our research and development place. Realize that I have not a lot of experience in a whole bunch of things, but I do have experience in customer service, and I have known things for a really long time because I did study a lot, and I do know things because I studied, and I studied a lot of things. I really did, and I tried my best to be able to create an opening of stuff for myself, but then I realized I had a disability. I have schizoaffective disorder, and it affects my life every day. Sometimes I think about the most craziest thing you could possibly ever imagine, and I usually do, because I'm not plagued by those thoughts, but I usually try to use them as my advantage. By creating and coming up with the most fictionalized bullshit or randomized stuff you can possibly ever think of. And that's what I think about every day, and it's what I study every day, most of the time too. So have a good day, and enjoy yourselves, and thank you for the viewers that did show up, and thank you Dark Forlorn. Thank you for fighting me in the first couple of first like 30 minutes, I guess. Have a good day. And enjoy yourselves, and make sure that you can realize that you can be free of anyone's persecution. You're free from anyone's persecution in a free market. And anyone can have the personal opinions that they want to. It doesn't mean that they're right. When it comes to a free market, and when it comes to someone who actually knows and have been around the free market, in order to be able to understand that market, you have to realize that there are people themselves who understand a free market better. You can be the kind of person that you need to be in order to be able to make a difference in your crowd, and your friends group, and your business, and whatever you do. Be able to positively think and acquire a goal, and to be able to make that goal something, and to realize that if your friends ever hold you back, then realize that maybe you don't need those friends. You are your own one-man, personal, metaphorical bomb squad. You can defuse situations before they happen. Say your friends want to go out and hurt someone. You can stop. And you can also realize that those situations aren't for you, and you can go home. I've been in situations like that, and sometimes I've chosen the wrong thing. But I tried to be as honorable and as better as much as I could. There were mean people out there, and those mean people I decided to actually befriend, and not actually become friends with, but throw my grudges away, and realize that there are situations and there are people themselves that matter to me, and those people that matter to me are people that matter the most to me, and the realizations of people who try to thwart or put back or in any way try to threaten my existence on this earth. I would say to those people, have a good time, because it's not going to last for long. Because the amount of people that actually don't like that are more than the people that do. And have a good day. And always be yourself, and stuff like that. I have my own personal opinions. I don't expect anyone to share them because I really don't care. I have my own opinions because I know this is America and I can have my own opinion. I don't have to think like anyone else. And I don't have to tell anyone or give anyone any compliments. I can tell them exactly how I feel, no matter how cynical or dark it ever even is. They may stop me from getting opportunities, but hey, you know what? That's the reason why I say them. Sometimes because I don't want to correlate myself with people who decidedly try to use children to be able to tell themselves or tell anyone that they're making a difference. You don't use children. You protect children. Because they're not your sign. Children are not your sign. Now that's something you put on your forehead to say that you're a loser for. Or that you're a winner for. You just say you did a job. You did helpful things. You help people. And that's all. Be yourself. And if you're a child, grow up and have opinions. And realize that those opinions themselves change over time. And realize those people change over time. Everyone changes, no matter if anyone perceives that change or not. And usually if they don't perceive a change, then they're starting to be left behind. Be yourself. And don't make the bombs. Just defuse them. Be a good person and make a difference in your marketplace every single day to make sure that it doesn't become under fire or any sort of threatening hurtfulness by anyone else who thinks that they can control things. And that can be anyone. But realize that I don't call people out all the time because I don't have to. Because nobody hardly listens in the first place. So I listen, I watch, I learn. And that's what I've been doing since I was 5 years old. Thank you, and if you've ever listened, thank you, and if you ever do, thank you. Have a good day. And that was a really long outro, but it's okay.